Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new life.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Right Now Roofing Xfinity Series here in the Goat Locker Racing League. I'm Eddie Smith. Thank y'all so much for joining us here on VSRN tonight as we are at Michigan International Speedway for the cutoff race for the round of 8. Well, we've had a great season. It's been really fun. These cars always put on a good show, and these drivers have done so as well. It's been a wild and crazy season, and lots of ups and downs for some drivers, and it is getting down to crunch time if you're going to compete for a championship here in this series. I want to thank our sponsor, Right Now Roofing, for their sponsorship of this series. Also, Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, and Premier Racing Setups. Well, tonight it's all about the bracket. That's where we are. Jake Denton last week at Bristol was able to get the job done, get the win, lock himself into the round of 8. So we only have 7 spots available for the other 11 drivers. Who is it going to be? Who's going to be in? Who's going to be out? That's the big question here tonight. It's going to be close. It's going to be interesting. We don't have live points here tonight. Not able to do it with this setup, but right now on the bubble is Trevor McManus, who is tied with Jamie Barkas for that 8th position, that final cutoff spot for 8th place. John Anthony, who is back in technically 10th place in points, he is 3 points out of the cut line. Alex Cruz is just 6 points out, and Chance Taylor 7 points out. So all those drivers have opportunities here tonight, and it is definitely possible to see that shake up. We already saw guys have a lot of trouble. Trevor McManus did not have a great week last week. Hopefully he can rebound and see him move on. But 4 people are going to be disappointed here tonight. Just going to depend on how this race goes. Going to have to be careful. We got cars out on track, so let's go ahead and jump out onto the track, because right now we got Doug Ellingson putting down his lap time here in qualifying. Take a look at all those who have put down times already, and Jacob Denson atop the standings after 9 drivers have put down lap times. Here comes Doug Ellingson to put down his 2nd lap, and he's going to jump up to 4th place, so good lap there for for Doug. He's got a good little starting spot up here. Now, one of your playoff drivers that we going to be talking about a lot tonight, Chance Taylor, who's sitting outside of that cut line. Tonight's going to have a really solid race to be able to get anything done. He's getting loose there in the middle of 3 and 4, so not going to be great, and that's actually going to hurt his second lap because he's going to lose a little bit of speed. So we'll see where he goes up to 9th place there. Going to need a lot as Jamie Barkus takes that 15 machine up to the top spot, and he is going to be in a good position if he can hold that to fight for that championship. Of course, any of the other 11 drivers, all they've got to do is win here tonight, and they go in points be dang. So we'll see if Chance Taylor can improve on this lap here as he's coming through 3 and 4 this time, running the high line up in that 4th groove. Going to get a run off the corner. We'll see if he can improve on that other lap. Got that dark horse Ford Mustang, and yeah, one spot was able to jump up, so he was able to improve on that one. Jonathan Barker out on track now to make his first lap. You see everybody kind of running that middle lane. The Xfinity car a little bit looser. Got a little bit more power. It feels like you can really yaw the car out, which makes it a little bit nervous there on the bottom. So you see a lot of folks really staying above that seam. You see he's putting that left front right below that middle seam, and as soon as he does that, it gets loose. So that's going to really hurt that lap time, but he's going to come off turn 4. And I think Jamie Barkett's going to be pretty good for now. Still got a few drivers, Jimmy Cofield, Eric Martinez, Bobby Germain, Daniel Blow, Chris Sawyer, and Jeremy Gibbs have yet to put down a lap time. But Barker, after that slip up, he is going to be in 17th as he goes around for his second and final lap. So you got Jacob Ellingson in second, Drabick in third, Charlie Harcum, Levi McCarty in fifth, your current and only round of 8 driver, Jacob Denson there in 6th, Scott Phelps in 7th, McManus, who's right there on that cut line, he is in the 8th position, and looks like we are complete with qualifying. Nobody else able to have time to put in a lap time, so we'll jump right into the grid, and we'll see where everybody is going to start here tonight. Well, starting on the front row, we talked about it already. He's right there on the cut line. Needs to have a good night here tonight. Jamie has missed a race or two, but he's also just had some really bad ones, and he is a championship contender for sure. So I'm sure the other group of drivers love if he didn't make it, but I think he has got a really good opportunity here starting on the pole. Jacob Ellingson, I think you got to feel like he is a pretty much shoe-in for the Final Four, but I don't know if he feels that way. So I know he would love to get a great finish here tonight, maybe a win, and get himself on into the playoffs. Starting in third is going to be Patrick Drabick and Charlie Harcum in the 4th position. In 5th, Levi McCarty in that 18 machine. Been fast the last few races, new to this series, but has definitely planted his flag in this Xfinity series. Jacob Denson, talked about him already, going to round out 6th. 7th, going to be Scott Phelps, Trevor McManus in 8th. 9th, Craig Bontrager, and 10th, Tyler Justice. Brandon Wallace going to start in 11th. Doug Ellingson in 12th. 13th, Chance Taylor. George Jewell in the 14th spot. 15th, Alex Cruz. John Anthony in 16th. 17th, Jonathan Barker and Chris Sawyer in 18th. 19th, Bobby Germain. 20th, Daniel Blow. 21st is going to be Jeremy Gibbs. Eric Martinez in 22nd. And he hasn't gridded yet, but I think you'll see him be racing here tonight. Jimmy Cofield in that number 3 machine. All right, car's getting rolling. You'll have to forgive me a little bit. I'm going to be a little under the weather here tonight, so I'll try to keep the mute button ready so any coughing doesn't come through, but forgive me if it does. We're going to try to make it through this one here tonight. But, yeah, a lot to talk about here, a lot to consider in this race is Trevor McManus waiting to get going as they start to roll out of pit road. But Michigan, really fast track. We'll take a look at your race analysis here. 100 laps here tonight. That is a long race at Michigan. That is longer than you think. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. They do have 4 total sets, so 3 in the pits if they need it. And I'm sure they'll be glad to get, that's about 25 laps per set. So I think we might see some different tire strategy going on in this race. 2 green-white checkered attempts, 100% fuel load, fixed setup in the fuel run, anywhere between 35 and 40 laps. So that will definitely mean there will be 2 stops if we go green all the way. So going to be some interesting decisions there. When to pit, when to stay out. Cautions can catch you at a bad time. You don't want to let that happen. Let's take a look who we got on cams here tonight. We got Jacob Ellingson, we got Jamie Barkus, Patrick Dravitt, and Jeremy Gibbs. Appreciate those guys always providing their cams for the races each week, and obviously provide such a really awesome look in to what these guys are going through. But coming through turns 3 and 4 here, Michigan, real wide, D-shape oval, 2 miles, and it is really, really fast. So we're going to see these guys all over the place as they into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out. Jamie Barkus gets a great jump here in this cutoff race. Jacob Ellingson with a big run on the outside. He is going to retake the lead after Barkus had a really good into 1 and 2, but I think what you're going to see is that outside line be pretty strong, but we'll see. What I love about Michigan is it does allow for different lanes. Look how these guys are all over the place, even on lap 1. Got some guys running up the top side, running the middle, running the bottom. The top side currently disadvantaged in the tire wear department, but in the speed, it is very, very good. So it is a trade-off that you have to decide, depending on how the setup is running. Exactly how often do you want to get up in that top spot? You want to defend against somebody that's trying to pass you, try to keep that track position. You'll want to run that high side, but at the cost of tires. So we'll see who decides to run the high side. As we got Levi McCarty going down to the inside here, trying to make a pass here on Ellingson, and he's going to get the nose under him. We'll see if he can make the pass work. So up beside him, coming off of turn 4. Side by side for the lead. Levi McCarty going to play spoiler here tonight as he's trying to keep these guys from locking themselves in. Jacob Ellingson would love to lock himself into the playoffs. Pretty much anybody but Jacob Denson, who is already in it. Now, Ellingson, he is in a good spot. He has 10 points over the cutoff line at the moment. So if he runs top 5, he has got a great opportunity to move on to the next round. It's pretty much guaranteed inside the top 10 he will move on. But he's got to be careful. You see him being very aggressive. One small move, one wrong decision, and Jacob Ellingson goes out. So it changes the way you race. You want to go as hard as you possibly can most time, but when it's like this, you have to kind of decide, is it worth it? How hard will I drive here to put myself in a position where I could ultimately end my season? So you see him being pretty aggressive here, but there he drops back into place into second as Denson gets a big run on the outside, but has to check up. So going to be a lot of different styles here. You want to move on to the next round. You don't want to try to win a race that you don't need to win. So I think we'll see Jacob Ellingson be a little bit more passive than normal and just try to maintain that track position where somebody like Jamie Barkus, I mean, if he runs in top 5, he'll have a pretty good opportunity as well. But if you're Chance Taylor back here in 10th position, you got to get up there and pretty much win. You can't go up there and try to finish in top 10. You got to go and try to put some strategy in play that puts your car up front and gives you an opportunity to get the win, lock yourself in the playoffs. There's some folks that are going to need a whole lot of help. Chance Taylor is currently one of them. He is he's about 7 points out of the cutoff line. So you see, they're just trying to keep everybody in like everybody they're racing. You want to keep them guys in your sight. If there's a fellow that's behind you in points, you want to stay in front of him. That way you know he's not going to have an opportunity to pass you. So a lot to think about. Wish we had live points we could kind of show you as things go, but We don't have that tonight, but I'll keep you up to date on where everybody is. But Levi McCarty leading here on lap number 6 as they go down this long straightaway. And you can just see, go on board here with Jacob Ellingson. He goes right down to that yellow line, but what you'll see is how nervous that car can feel, and he's got to come up the track as they come off the corner. And that outside line gets such a nice run that, you know, it's tough not to want to run that outside line, I'll be honest. It is a very, very tempting to run up there majority of the race, but depending on how the setup goes, the tire either going to wear the right rear or the right front off. And so you have to be careful. That bottom line can be really fast, but also save a little bit of tire. Said on board with Jacob Ellingson as he tries to make a move here on Levi McCarty, but also play defense. You can see that 7 car of Jacob Denson all over his mirror. Going down to the inside, he's not using the draft really. He could stay in line with Levi, get a big draft, but he's actually gaining a little bit of time by running down at the bottom of the trial. It's a long D-shaped, not trial, but just the front stretch is kind of curved. You drive down to the bottom, you gain a little bit of time. So just trying to stay in the 18's tire track, save those tires just a little bit. Michigan is such a fun track to race in these cars. Is they just allow for the car to yaw out a whole bunch. So it's a lot of throttle work. It's, you know, drive it down in the corner as hard as you possibly can. Lean on the brake. And then get back on the throttle as soon as you can to get that thing to rotate. But aero plays a big part in this. You get right behind somebody, it can be tough coming off the corner. As you can see right here, Jacob just won't have enough downforce on the front of his car, and if you're not careful, that thing will sail on you, and you'll be going out to the outside wall with that tight condition. But here we go. Down to the inside goes Jacob Ellingson. Said it's time to go. Maybe feels like Levi is starting to wear his tires out. Look how this racing looks here. Love it. I love to see a track like this where you can run multiple grooves. It just opens up the door for so much racing. Back here, you got Patrick Dravitt. Obviously, you got some guys that are pretty well locked into the playoffs. Patrick's another one of those guys who is quite a few points ahead of the cutoff, but with only being 2 races in each round, you know, the spread's not huge. A win is really, really important. That's what you want to get, but Patrick's still in really good shape. As you see Jacob Denson go down to the inside of battle for second, as he's going to slide off that bottom. You see, just not able to keep the momentum up. He's going to slide back into the 3rd position. But Patrick has, right now, I mean, Jacob Denson is locked in, but Patrick is next in line with 1,044 points, and the cutoff is 1,033. So he's got 11 points over the cutoff. So Patrick, obviously, right now, the thought is, well, let's get our other Goat Locker boys into the championship. Right now, Alex Cruz running back here in the 17th position. He needs a win. He's going to be struggling to gain those really 6 points that he needs. It's a tough race. All around, nobody's really safe unless you're Jacob Denson. Now that I'm looking down the list and everything, everybody just needs to have a good race. But I know that the Goat Locker boys will be working together, and I know that a track like this, being able to have a teammate, somebody that's working with you, could be a big deal. So we'll see that 07 and 15 working together for a majority of the race. Jamie failed back to 4th here early in this run, as Jacob Ellingson now back down to the inside, trying to take over the lead. Going to drive it down into 3 and 4. He's going to clear the 18. The 18 is going to try a little crossover, but I think that Jacob has the tires he needs. And then right as we're talking about him, Jamie Barkas, with a little help from his teammate, down to the inside of Jacob Denson, trying to make that pass work. I don't know if they'll quite make it here in 1 and 2, but we'll see. But Jamie fell back, probably saving his stuff a little bit, trying to make sure that he doesn't burn them up. Oh, you see he's going to get a little bit loose there on the exit, but actually gets a pretty dang good run. So you see there the 07 Patrick Dravitt helping his teammate down the backstretch. You love to see that. Down in 3 and 4, Jacob kind of pushed the gas a little bit more and trying to keep that 3rd position, but Jamie now working the inside, not quite able to do it here off of turn 4. You can see how focused Jamie looks. He looks like he is, he's locked in. But a little 6-car breakaway. Scott Phelps kind of bringing up the rear. Then you go back about 3/10 to Charlie Harcum. They're trying to hold on to that draft. And you see really single car up here at the front. Checking in on Trevor McManus. That 9 machine did not have a great qualifying effort and then has fallen back 5 spots from where he started. So Trevor, he needs to be where Marcus is at the moment. So really surprised to see him this far back. Did not have a great qualifying effort. And right now he is. Be careful that he's not on the outside looking in. If he can get inside the top 10, he should be okay. But there's so much stuff that can happen. You hate to kind of rest on that. That's for sure. Up front, Levi McCarty all over the back bumper of Jacob Ellingson as, Jamie Barkus. Little door bang going into 3 and 4. He's going to take over that 3rd spot. Now Barkus on the move. Oh, Barkus makes a little bit of contact with the wall going into the corner. Not bad contact, but you see his teammate kind of losing some spots back here in that 07 as that outside line just has a lot of momentum. So Scott Phelps now looking to the inside, but Barkus back up to the 3rd position now, setting his sights on the 18 of Levi McCarty. Tire wear will be a pretty decent issue here tonight. You're going to have to take care of them. And like I said in the pre-race, you only have, they've got to get to 25 here before they even consider coming down pit road, but they're not going to come down pit road on lap 25. They are going to stretch it out as long as they can. So we talked about 35 to 40 laps on fuel. So you're going to have to make these tires last. You push them too hard, and you can see how quickly it can get spread out, and you can lose that draft and start to lose track position quickly and may never get it back. Barkus going down to the inside now, trying to get position here on Levi. Not quite ready to do it as Jacob Denson is working that outside as Patrick Dravitt tries to make that inside work and get those spots back. Seems like everybody is trying to grab that seam. You see those black lines on the track. That's a seam in the track, and it will kind of change the way the car is handling depending on where your tires are. So in 3 and 4, Jacob's been running this higher line. Patrick Dravitt drives it into the corner really deep. You got to see Jacob. He's trying to get that right rear on top of one of those seams and the left side tires below it. That helps turn the car a little bit more. He's going to go back down to the inside with the run off the corner. He said, well, 2 can play that game as they're going to battle it into 1. He's going to drive it deep into the corner. But you can see, trying to keep that, you don't want to go all the way to the bottom. You don't want to have all 4 wheels right on that bottom groove. You want to at least put the right sides on the next seam up. You see those black lines right there. You see how everybody right here, Jacob kind of gets all 4 tires below it, but then he kind of shifts up the track, gives him a little bit of rotation as Scott Phelps goes right around him. Barkus has not been able to get past Levi as they start to lose sight of Jacob Ellingson here, who's 6/10 out in the lead. And it feels like maybe Levi has kind of burned these tires up a little bit. And Barkus just doesn't have enough or not willing to push it enough to get around him quickly. But he is looking down to the inside here. And we'll see if he can drive up in front of that 18. Not quite. The 18 is going to get a run. The 15 would love to slide up in front of him. Can't do it. Off the corner, Levi will still have that position, but they've got drafting help down on the bottom. Levi all by himself. These straightaways are so long that drafting does make a difference if you can get there to that bumper. Levi does a good job But now Barkus will likely, if he can get to the gas soon enough. But no, Levi's going to hang around, drive right on the outside, not quite able to make that pass just yet. And while this goes on, Jacob Ellingson just smiling ear to ear as he is continuing to pull away as they battle side by side. Patrick Gravick, he looks like he wants to go 3 wide, but I can guarantee he's not going to. He's going to ride right behind his teammate, let his teammate get it figured out, and then make his move. But Scott Phelps has been on the move as well, working that high side, got around Jacob Denson a couple laps ago, now is joining this little battle. Man, Levi's making it incredibly difficult for these guys to get around him. You can definitely tell he's starting to fade, but that high line is such a good defensive line that they're just not able to get it as these tires start to really wear. Down to the inside. Just looks like Barkus should be able to have it, but you can see the momentum that you can keep and carry on the outside. He's just able to keep his foot in it longer, and it's making it incredibly difficult as Dravitt gets right to the back bumper of the 15, trying to get to him to push him out ahead. Just barely gets him right at the end of the straightaway. And what's really hard is to not allow frustration to set in if you're Jamie Barkus. You know you want to get around him. You know you're a little bit faster, but you have to be patient. You don't want to get loose off the corner. You don't want to make a mistake, make contact. There's so many things that can go wrong if you're impatient here for Jamie Barkus. He just has to trust that the way he's running, how he's running, is good enough. And keep your head down. It's 0.8 of a second now over Jacob Ellingson over Jacob Barkus and Levi McCarty as they continue to battle side by side. Ooh, they almost make a little contact, and that's what Jamie needed. Jamie kind of entered in a middle lane, and that threw off Levi, who was trying to arc it down to the middle lane, and they almost come together. Levi kind of backs out of it, and that's what Jamie needed to get that position. You see Jamie staying low. Oh, man, is Levi – I think Jamie stayed low to try to allow his teammate to get a draft off of him, but Levi got a nice run on the outside. He's going to push it again. Levi going to run wide here. Levi right back, and Jamie opened the door trying to help his teammate with a draft. I don't think the draft is that big a deal at the moment because he gave Levi that top line again, and Levi was able to get the run he needed to get around him. So now they're back battling side by side for second place. You can see Jacob Ellingson here enjoying a 1-second lead. You see Ellingson actually trying to help with that draft, but I just don't think in the Xfinity car that you see the draft be a massive, advantage that you see at other places. It definitely is a thing, but I don't see it being a massive advantage here today. I just haven't seen it work out like that. And, man, Levi able to fight off Barkus as Barkus has a terrible 3 and 4, not able to get the power down. And now he's going to fall back to third. So I think Barkus probably kicking himself after leaving that top side open once he had the position, and now he's going to have to go back after him and fight him again. Barkus still running that inside. I think as time goes on, that inside will prevail, but look at the run that he gets through the middle of 4 off. Gets a great run for him to come off the bottom side, and he is right there trying to get a little bit of side draft. Not as good as the next gen car. The next gen, he would pull it, pretty much yank the 18 back, but the Xfinity car not as susceptible to that. And you can see off the top side, Levi able to hold it steady hang on to that second spot. Well, while we're battling here, let's take a look at some stuff that we got going on here for Goat Locker 13th annual charity car show, Anything on Wheels, Saturday, June the 2nd, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. in Indianapolis, Indiana. And Goat Locker has partnered with Lincoln Tech College of Technology, and on June 22nd this year, Lincoln Tech is hosting a car show to benefit GLR. And so if you're in the Indianapolis area, what a better way to spend your time is to go check out that car show. and that, again, is on June 22nd. Well, Patrick Drabick said I guess he said, I think I've had enough. Let's see if I can go up there and make something happen. And so he's going to pass his teammate, as I'm sure Jamie needs to cool those tires down. He's put a lot of pressure on him as he was fighting side by side. So probably needs to let those things cool down just a little bit. And so Patrick will go up there and try to make something happen with Levi, who's done a great job so far of really making these guys work for it. And while we're on this topic of stuff going on, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. You see Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, but this is a all-star race for Goat Locker, another fundraising event on April 27th. So just 11 days away. It'll be Xfinity cars at Las Vegas for 120 laps, and it'll be on Podium Esports, which will be great. And it'll be played live at the Nasty's Restaurant and Bar on their television screens. I think that'll be really, really cool. The goal is to raise $2,500 in order to provide a sim rig to one of our nation's warriors. So if you have gotten a DM for Jamie Barkis, go reach out to him. You can donate with that QR code there. Man, just great things they do around here at Goat Locker, and this is just another cool opportunity. And hey, what a cool opportunity to have yourself on the screen of a bar as they have a fundraiser, and see if you can get in victory lane for the Goat Locker All-Star Race, which would be a cool event. So really cool that they do these events, these one-offs that are just a lot of fun, and they all have a bigger meaning than just sim racing. Well, Patrick Drabick got the lead. Oh, making a little bit of contact there. Ooh, scary. Patrick got the lead and then did the exact same thing that he did, or that his teammate did, which is stay low, and Levi was able to get up to the outside again and get back into that position. So I don't know. I think it's just they're thinking about their teammates so much that they are putting themselves in deeper holes, trying to help each other down the straightaway, that they keep giving Levi that outside line, and Levi is happy to have it, as they are not able to clear him. Man, Patrick going to pull a slider there, and he said, all right, we're going to take it right there. Levi has to come out of the throttle, and that's going to open the door. Now, that's some good teamwork right there. That's teamwork you want to see, where you make Levi have to check up a little bit. And so now Barkis is going to be able to sneak through too, and I think this time they're going to get a little 2-for-1 special thanks to Patrick Drabick. So Goat Locker, 1, 2, 3. They're doing exactly what they need to do here tonight, as we are crossing over that 33-lap range. Now, I think what we'll see is guys coming down pit road, which has already happened. Right now, Tyler Justice comes down pit road. Trevor McManus has already made his stop, so they're going to split this race into thirds. Chris Sawyer has come down pit road along with Jeremy Gibbs and Eric Martinez. Doug Ellingson has some damage. He's a couple laps down. So we're going to see some pit roads strategy, see what these guys do. We'll see if they run long or if they come on down. Looks like Jacob Ellingson going to come down now, bringing everybody along with him. Ooh, he's got to get checked up. He is hot. You can see he got real scary. He had to check up so hard that the car almost came around. And we'll see if we get any speeding penalties here tonight. So everybody comes down pit road except for Levi McCarty, Daniel Blow, and Jonathan Barker and Bobby Germain. Those guys stay out for another lap. So we'll likely see them run long, but we've already said that they can run maybe 38 laps or so. Levi McCarty is running a 40.8, their best lap under on fresh tires is a 39.1. So that is a big difference. That's almost 2 seconds in lap time. So Jacob Ellingson wins the battle off pit road, but Patrick Drabick going to be right behind him, want to keep up with his teammate. And Patrick actually had a great stop as Jonathan Barker now comes down pit road. Patrick Drabick had a great job getting on and off pit road, a lot better than his teammate Patrick, and they were able to stay on the lead lap. Jacob Denson, you can see the leader back there behind him, going around Jamie Barkis. Barkis will quickly take that back, but you can see how fast those new tires are. So I don't know how long Levi's planning on staying on the track, but the longer he does, the more distance he's going to lose to those guys on newer tires. You see how quickly Marcus is gone. So right now, Jamie Marcus is the last driver on the lead lap, and Trevor McManus is in that lucky dog spot. He needs to get up there and get to your leader. And Doug Ellingson there, he has now gotten one of his 2 laps back, so Trevor McManus is going to go down to the inside. Doug going to squeeze him. This is not a battle for position. Doug's actually a lap behind. He's on his own lap compared to everyone else. So Trevor able to unlap himself as still waiting on that Levi McCarty to come down pit road. You see this cluster of drivers. No penalties, so everybody was able to get down to the pit road speed and had no issues. So everybody going to start to get spread out outside of this little cluster of drivers with Trevor, Scott Phelps, Charlie Harcum, Craig Bontrager, Jacob Denson, all those drivers. This is 6th to 10th. And look at him. 3 wide is Doug Ellingson on the outside. And you got Craig Bontrager with Jacob. Oh, my God. Doug Ellingson just right hooks Charlie Harcum on the straightaway. Charlie Harcum, big damage as contact. Oh, my goodness. And on the middle of the track, somebody hits him. Who was that? That was Brandon Wallace. And caution comes out as Charlie Harcum was rolling slowly down the straightaway. And, man, there's a lot to break down here. So Charlie Harcum, who is 4th in points, now he's going to have to tow and get a fast repair. Let's go back and check that out. You see a 3 wide situation right here, and you're going to watch Doug Ellingson. He's going to drive down and turn him into the wall. And you can hear the motor blow in this car, and then watch as Brandon Wallace, I don't know if he just couldn't see him or what, but just blasted him. Let's go aboard Brandon Wallace, see what he was looking at. You can see the smoke up there, and we'll see just from his perspective. I think he was oh, man. He doesn't really know where Charlie's going to go. Charlie actually kind of was on the apron, and then you're going to see him drop back out on the track. And then he's stopping on the track. I don't know if he was waiting on a caution to come out, but because he did that, maybe trying to bring one out, because he did that, his motor is completely destroyed at this point. My goodness, what a wild, crazy event that happened right there. I mean, I know Charlie is probably not happy as we watch again as Doug, like I said, just comes down and turns him. I don't know if maybe he was upset about something. I don't know if Doug had some sort of issue with Charlie. I don't know, but that's exactly what it looks like. Watch again from the helicopter cam, and you can see everything is good. Everything is good, and then Doug just right here comes down and right hooks him. So maybe just misjudged his bumper, was trying to get behind him. I don't know. Everything's good right here. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Doug thought he was going to slide in behind Charlie. But that did not work out. So a playoff driver in big trouble as Charlie Harcum is still on pit road. They do have a fast repair, but he had to tow, so he has to wait out the tow to be able to get that fast repair. So it usually takes a couple minutes as it tries to simulate a tow truck coming to get your car and pulling you back to pit road. And then once that is over with, it's usually a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. He will be able to get that fast repair. But Charlie Harcum was only 7 points out of the cutoff line. And this is big. I mean, he is already 3 laps down. He will probably go another one before we go back green. And Charlie Harcum's playoff bid may be over after contact with Doug Ellingson. So, I mean, just a wild. I mean, we had a really great green flag race there. Just a wild event there. I mean, there was a lot going on there. Contact between Doug and Charlie, and then Brandon Wallace just not knowing where Charlie was going to be. I think Charlie was just trying to maybe sit on the track and, hope that, hey, will somebody throw the caution, I race and throw it, Barney, somebody. And Brandon Wallace, I don't know. I think he was just assuming he was going to be on the apron, and when Charlie comes back up, Brandon just could not decide which way he was going to go, and big contact. Brandon Wallace did have to go down pit road and get his fast repair, so he will go a lap down in that 99 machine. But you hate to see that. I mean, you hate to see contact with somebody who is, a couple laps down, contact with a playoff driver, and that's part of racing. That's tough. That's why it's so stressful in these scenarios is you got to watch. You got to mind your P's and Q's all race. You just don't have a whole lot of room for error. And unfortunately for Charlie, I think he would have been okay. But then he got that engine damage, and that did him in. So tough deal for Charlie Harcum, but good deal if you're Trevor McManus or Jamie Barkas, because that moves you right up. And right now, I mean, Harcum is going to be out of the playoffs, out of the final 8, if everything ends like it is right now. So Barkas, Trevor McManus can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. And right now, John Anthony would be the one that needs to be worried. Now, he benefits from it. I don't know exactly where the points are going to play out here, but that does move him closer to that cut line. So now all of a sudden, John Anthony needs to be worried about what's going on and pay attention, try to get some spots here. We do get the 1 to green. I'll tell you what, let's go to a Cruising Classics commercial. We'll be right back. All right, into the Geico restart zone. We're going to get this restart underway. We did have a couple of folks come down pit road. Scott Phelps, Jacob Denson came down there under that caution period, took some gas, and I think maybe Trevor McManus actually took a set of tires, so we'll pay attention to that. He was on pit road for about 13 seconds, so we'll see if he indeed did take 2 tires or multiple sets of tires. But Jacob Ellenson going to pull out to an early lead as now they are going to be on fresh tires, so they'll be back in attack mode as Barkas starts to fall back just a little bit as Craig Bontrager on the outside gets a nice run as there's battles going on all over the track. As again, Levi McCarty going to sneak up to the outside, and oh my goodness, Patrick Rabbit almost turns himself across the nose at 18. That was close. I see a lot of chances taken here tonight. Man, these guys are, they're hanging it all out. I love it. But some chances that I may not have taken. And you see how aggressive Levi McCarty is being. he is not here for points. Not going to be in a championship. He can't win and get in. Just hasn't made enough races. But he's trophy hunting. Gonna slide up in front of the 07 and set his sights on the leader. Patrick going to the inside, making that 07. That 07 looks really, really strong. If he can get some track position, if he can get on the front row for maybe a restart or get into second here right now, I think the 07 has got enough to win this race. That he has definitely looked to be one of the better drivers here tonight, fastest cars. And of course, Craig Bontrager in that 49, he comes out of nowhere, and he is looking to be. He's looking pretty fast as well, so there's a lot that can go on here. You see him all over the track. Is now Craig going to get to the outside of the 07, and now Levi McCarty going to go for the lead. And he takes it. So right out to the front goes the 18, and we saw him sort of get out early in that last run and then start to fade at the end of the run. So we'll see if he can improve upon that. Whatever issues he had, can kind of work on it and try to keep that 18 out front this time, save a little bit of tire that he wasn't able to do last time. But you can see Jamie Barkus, I mean, he is quickly falling off early in the run, so he is definitely in a mode of trying to save as much as he can and be there in the long runs, and it worked out pretty well last run. Oh no, it's Jamie Barkus blinks out. That's not good. You don't want to see that, not in a playoff driver, especially somebody right on the bubble. Charlie Harcum is back on the track. He is 3 laps down though. And, you never want to say never, but unfortunately for Charlie, there are 3 other drivers a lap down. So it's going to be basically impossible for Harcum to get back into this race unless we somehow have 7 cautions from here. And here we do have one right here. I don't know. I think we got Daniel Blow going through the grass here on the front stretch. So there's one. There's one for Charlie Harcum as the 17 gets the thing back rolling. We'll see what happened to him, but it looked like a little solo car spin. This is on the back stretch. And you see he is in a cluster of cars here. Got John Anthony behind him. They're 3 wide here. Chris Sawyer in the middle. And again, Doug Ellingson coming down and hitting another car. Let's see one more time. Yeah, I just don't know if maybe the spotter for the 58 is just not working or what's going on, but that's twice now in the last 15, 20 laps that he has not either known that he was 3 wide or comes down and makes contact. But you see right here, they're 3 wide. It is definitely tight. And, yeah, Doug Ellingson just comes down the track. Maybe got a little bit loose there. We'll go on board with Doug here and just see what it looked like from his point of view. He's up there on the outside line. We'll see if he gets a little bit loose as he comes off the corner. Really hard to say here. Yeah, I think he might have just gotten a little bit loose as the car unloads, and they were really tight on each other. And, that's one of those opportunities where Chris Sawyer maybe just needs to back out of it there, is there was just not a whole lot of space there for guys to work. But, again, Doug Ellingson makes contact and brings out our second caution of the night. We'll see if you have any takers on pit road. We do. Scott Phelps, Jacob Ellingson, all the leaders except for Levi McCarty come down pit road. And Trevor McManus going to stay out. Interesting. Interesting call. They had about 17 laps on those tires, so I don't know if Trevor has taken his second set or not, or his third set, excuse me. So he may have to stay out just for no reason, other than he only has one set of tires left. He did come down pit road another time than others. He's in pit road for 13.1 seconds, and I don't know if that was a little bit of damage. 13.1 would be pretty fast for a 4-tire pit stop. So he may have just been fixing damage, but he may be on his second set of tires already, or third set, excuse me. See Chris Sawyer coming back down pit road. He went through. I don't know if he missed his stall or what exactly happened, but I think he missed his stall. He came into pit road, then left, didn't get into his box, and then came back around. And you see the 0 of Eric Martinez coming in as well. So Chris Sawyer going to fall back to the end of the line there after that contact that brought out that caution. Alex Cruz stays out. He's going to have the oldest tires of the bunch here up at the front. We've seen that tire difference be pretty wide, so he will definitely get eaten up pretty quickly. But I do like the call to try to come away with some track position. He was mired back in the 15th or so position, and he is one of those drivers that really needs to have a good day. He is a couple spots out of the line. So if the race was to end right now, I mean, Trevor and Alex Cruz would both be in the playoffs. So I do like the strategy call here, especially if you can get up front, maybe lead a lap. Maybe that's what Trevor is trying to do here. Get up front, lead a lap. That will be 1 point that could mean all the difference. Getting ready to go green. Pace car going to pull off Levi McCarty, Trevor McManus, Alex Cruz, Jonathan Barker all stayed out under this caution. And you see Chance Taylor, he took a chance and took 2 tires here on that stop. So these guys making moves, trying to get something done here, try to make in these playoffs. Levi gets a great jump as we're just a little over halfway. The battle's going to be for second. Trevor's got the preferred position. You can see, oh man, Jonathan Barker goes well up the track, and you can see those guys eating him up on those new tires as both Ellingson and Drabick both go through, and now it is a madhouse trying to get these positions with these tires. Craig going to look down to the inside. You can see the difference of the 4 tires makes through the middle of the corner. Craig able to drive right through the middle, come off the corner with that position, and Alex Cruz starting to fall back as well as they are on those old tires. Trevor holding on strong, though. Trevor looking down to the inside. Trevor McManus going for the lead here down the straightaway. Jacob Ellingson is all over the back bumper of these two. Got those freshest tires as Patrick Drabick sets the fastest lap of the race. These guys are hauling the mail. Here comes Ellingson. Going to have a big run here on Trevor McManus. Will he take it 3 wide? I would imagine they would, but no, he's going to be patient. Try to push Trevor past Levi. Jacob Ellingson get to the inside with those fresh tires. You can see the difference of Trevor McManus. Trevor trying to hold on, but it's just a matter of time. The tire difference is just going to be a little bit too much. Is Ellingson going to take over the top spot? And here comes Patrick Dravick to follow him along and take over the second position. Here comes Craig down on the inside. Now, Craig is one of those other drivers. I think Levi's pretty good on the short run. On the long run, he seems to fade. But, I mean, Craig Bontrager, he looks very, very fast. And I think while Jacob Ellingson has gotten the track position each time and is shown to be really strong, I said earlier that I think Patrick Dravick may have the better car here tonight, as Craig is a little aggressive there and takes over that third spot. You see Trevor McManus did a little slider. McManus all over his back bumper. Is he going to dive down to the inside? But Craig going to have the preferred line. We'll see what happens right here. Man, they are close to each other. Just one mistake would be all that it would take. But Craig going to take over the third spot. But, yeah, Patrick, I feel like, has the car to win the race. But Craig has made up 6 spots from where he started. He has finally cracked the top 3 after starting in 9th place. And you can see right behind him is Trevor McManus. Up front, it is all goat locker. 1, 2, Patrick Dravick running nose to tail. You saw him pushing the 27 down the front straightaway. Smart move, I like it. It's easy with the all new tires to really get a big run and make passes, but you only pull in the guys from behind and help them catch you up. You see the teammates working together here to try to pull away, and you get that gap big enough, then you can start fighting later. We'll see if how long that holds up. That usually doesn't last very long. But been a great race so far. A couple incidents, but outside of that, the racing has been really, really phenomenal. Oh man, George Jules having some sort of issue, slow on the track. 36 pulls down off the track, and man, Chris Sawyer has gone around and multiple drivers. Somebody up against the wall. It's like John Anthony, one of your drivers on the bubble. Big damage with the 13. He's going to come down pit road. He does have a fast repair, but that motor has expired. He just needs to get down to his stall. If he does, he'll get a fresh car, but he may end up going a lap down, but he does not have a choice. He can't go around because that motor could blow at any minute. So another playoff driver with issues here in this race. He's going to pull into the stall here. You're going to see that fast repair take hold here in just a second. Boom. Brand new motor, brand new car. He'll get back out there. We'll see if he loses a lap. Here comes the pack now out of 4, but he does the right thing, only takes the fast repair, then cuts off. He'll come back in and get tires in a minute. We'll see if we can go back and see what happened. It started maybe with the 21 of Chris Sawyer. You saw George Jewell involved as well. That's Chance Taylor. Oh, George Jewell doesn't know the 22 is there. Holy moly. I don't know exactly who the 22 is. Yeah, actually the 22 just drives in there and takes him out. Who is that? Oh, it's Tyler Justice. Excuse me. Go back and go on board with Tyler as we go and look and see what happened here that caused this accident. And there you have it. That's all you need to know right there. A little bit of contact, and boy, that took out some playoff drivers. So a lot of folks in trouble after that contact. And some guys come down pit road. Jacob Ellingson comes down pit road, and he will get fuel only. So these guys, knowing how close it is on fuel, we talked about it in the pre-race. Fuel runs 35 to 40 laps. These guys are going to be right there on that pit window. So may see some fuel saving here. And disappointment for Charlie Harcum, who's going to have to fall back. Tyler Justice staying out there on that caution. Charlie really wanted to see that wave around so he can get back on 2 laps, but he is going to fall back to the back of this pack. And the good news is Doug Ellingson is the lucky dog driver moving forward. Doug 1 lap down. Charlie Harcum is still 3 laps down. So he's going to need 4 more cautions to get back on the lead lap. He definitely has the speed. It's very frustrating for that to happen. But, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if he's got enough time. But he's going to give it all he's got. You can't quit. You never know what can happen. We've already seen some wild cautions. And as we get down toward the end of this race, there's going to be more and more of that happening. So, well, Tyler Justice, who brought out that caution, is going to lead the field down to the green flag. Did not come down and take fuel, so he will not make it to the end for sure. He can't save enough, but he wants to get that trap position, get out front, and see what it's like out in clean air. So we'll see if he can pull away. I'm going to bet that Jacob Ellingson and Patrick Rapp are going to eat him up here in 1 and 2. We'll see. Maybe Tyler Justice got a little extra we don't know about. Good restart, though, as he gets the gas pedal down as the 2 Goat Locker boys go side by side into 1 and 2. And Patrick said it's go time. Down to the inside. We're 3 wide back here. Just a few rows back. We'll stay here on the lead. As, man, you can see how close everybody is getting down to the inside. Jacob Ellingson with a great move there. Going to go down to the inside of Tyler. Tyler going to stay up really high. Oh, somebody's going around. Whoa, my goodness. The 15 almost goes around. What a save. We got to go back and check that. There's no way I am letting that go on. Watch this save. Gets contact from Scott Phelps, goes down to the inside, and what a save out of that 15 machine. And that might have saved his season. He is still on track. Definitely going to drop a few spots down to the 14th position. Not going to be happy about that, but regardless, his race is he's still racing, so that is good. What a save by the 15 machine. Ellingson, Dravic, 1-2. Tyler Justice way up the track, making that outside work. See if he gets a run. Can't get a run here on the 07. As here comes Levi McCarty down on the inside to try to take that 3rd position. And Trevor McManus battling side by side with Jacob Denson for that 5th position. Levi McCarty sets the fastest lap in the races. He is hauling the mail, going down to the inside. Maybe surprise Patrick a little bit as he really driving the wheels off his car. He comes down and takes a set of tires, so he has fresh tires. Where the other guys came down and just took fuel only. You remember, he did stay out. And, man, look at them leaning on each other as they know how important it is. And Levi, with those fresh tires, is coming out swinging. You know, remember, Levi stayed out there. And he has that extra set that he can play with. And right now, if it goes green all the way, he is in good shape. Now, how much is Ellingson and those guys going to save fuel? They went down for fuel. It's going to be close, but I don't see anybody clutching at the moment. Trevor McManus goes around Patrick Drabick, then a wild move down to the inside. You can tell he is focused on what he's got to do here tonight. Trevor, I think Trevor is also on fresh tires, and he is. I think Trevor may be on his final set of tires. And so he does not want to see a caution before the end of this race. Right now, he's going to try to catch Levi McCarty. Trevor is in great shape at the moment, finishing second with all but guarantee himself into the final 8. He doesn't need the win, but, man, it sure does make it a whole lot easier if you can go up there and take the victory. You don't have to worry about points at that point. So I think that's what Trevor is trying to do, get up there, give himself the best opportunity. We're seeing that tire strategy we were talking about earlier come into play. Caution comes out in the next 10, 15, 20 laps. They're going to be in trouble. But right now the question is, can they make it on fuel? That's a question that I have. And it doesn't seem like they're saving that much. Let's go on board Brandon Wallace here. Well, if anybody was going to be saving, it would be Brandon Wallace, and I do not see him saving any fuel. So, look at Craig Von Traeger in that 49 machine. It doesn't seem like they're doing much fuel saving, so they may be able to make it all the way. Look at this little battle here between Ellingson, Craig, Patrick Drabick. And don't look now, it's Chance Taylor. Also, on 4 fresh tires, Chance Taylor, one of those drivers outside of the 8th place bubble. He was actually sitting last in the points. And this strategy is working out great for him as he's in the top 5 at the moment, trying to get all that he can. If he can go up there and get a win, he can get himself in the playoffs, but he may have enough points once this thing is over with if he can finish in the top 3 or so. As you see, he gets a massive run through 3 and 4. Oh, my goodness, almost makes a little bit of contact. He's going to take over 4th. And we got a crazy race going on with 30 laps to go. Who's going to make it in? We've got a lot of folks. Trevor McManus on the bubble. Chance Taylor outside of that line needed a lot of help, and he has got it. Right now, Jamie Bark is back in the 13th position after starting on the pole, been running up in the top 5 all race long. But now here, if we go green all the way, in big trouble after that contact. Alex Cruz has moved himself. He was up there at the front of the field, worked, got those, saving that set of tires. And he is in the 10th position. So the playoff race is wide open at the moment. There is a lot that can go on from here on out. Right now, Charlie Harcum is probably the one that's the most nervous. He was able to pick up a position when Chris Sawyer exited out of the race. So he was able to gain that 1 spot, but he is going to need somebody to have trouble. Right now, he is running 3 laps down. He's going to need a lot of help. And I'm not sure he's going to get it. So we're about to see a really good race. Man, Chance Taylor leaving it out all on the track here tonight as he is burning those tires up. And man, it's tough to make that call. You see how much faster you are with new tires, but they're all up here at the front. All the tire takers 1st through 4th. Now you got to really be careful that you don't burn these things up. You got to make it all the way to lap 100. And these tires will not be feeling good if you do not hang on for a little bit longer. On board with Patrick Drabick. We'll see if there's any fuel saving going on in the 07. Don't really hear any fuel saving, so it seems like they feel pretty confident about making it to the end, or you're just not going to be able to make it. One of the two. It was pretty close. It was right at lap, right at 40 laps, which is the outside of the window that we were talking about. So we'll all learn together if they can make it all the way to 40. It doesn't seem like they're really worried about it. I don't see anybody really saving that hard. So either they can definitely make it or they have to make one more stop. We'll all find out together. Chance Taylor continues to push forward down on the inside of Craig Von Tragen. This is not a battle for championship. Chance has got everything on the line right here. He's trying to be aggressive because he knows that he is in trouble when it comes to points coming into this race. He did not have a good one last week, and he's 7 points out below the cutoff. He might be able to make it on points, but if he can get up there and win, oh boy, it's going to be close. I thought maybe Chance was going to try the slider off the corner or in the middle, but Craig with a big run on the outside. These guys are battling hard with 25 laps to go. Trevor McManus got to that 3/10 bubble, has not really been able to close up much more than that, but look at Chance Taylor leaning on that 49, saying, hey man, I gotta go. They continue to battle side by side, and you can see Chance drives it deep into the corner, but the middle of the corner, Craig able to get the run through the middle and off. Chance just not able to do anything with it at the moment. Oh, gonna make contact down the back straightaway. Craig Von Tragen with a great save, as that could have been disastrous. And they hang on to it. Wow. And they're still side by side. What a great recovery there. I thought Craig was gone, but he does a fantastic job of hanging on to it. They're going to lose a little bit of time to the leaders, but they continue to fight. And that's, ooh, that was close. Oh, Chance is going to push up in the middle of 1 and 2 and almost makes contact again, but Craig going to take over that third spot. Chance obviously pushing that car as hard as he possibly can, knowing what's on the line. Now, as maybe the car is starting to fade a little bit, start to think about just maximizing the points. If you can't get up there to the lead, just maximize. Don't try not to burn your tires up, lose any more spots. You definitely don't want to fall back to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. You put yourself in even more trouble. Looks like you're not going to be able to run down the leaders. So just need to stop the bleeding at this point. Up front, it is still nose to tail. Levi McCarty, Trevor McManus is all over the back bumper, but not quite able to get position just yet. Trevor, obviously, and I don't know. I can't see how many tires they've used. So without them telling me themselves, I have no idea. But what I can see is how many times they've been down on pit lane. And Trevor McManus has been down on pit lane 4 times. And they only had 4 sets, 3 in the pits, 1 that they started on. So I know one of his stops was at least for damage or for fuel only. So likely he is on his final set of tires. So he definitely wants to see this thing go green all the way. And if a caution comes out, that would be the worst thing that could happen for Trevor. So he is definitely probably sweating bullets here a little bit. That 9 machine is fast. He's kind of waiting around to see if Levi slips up and he can take advantage of it. But he's got to make it another 20 laps. But if a caution comes out, that's detrimental for him. So he is just sweating it out, just praying these guys can hold it together for this strategy to work out. He hasn't really been a front runner all night, which is surprising for Trevor. But strategy worked out. Now he's up all the way at the top side trying to make some speed. Get a run here on the 18. It doesn't look like that outside line is that strong at the moment. We'll see if that maybe changes. He does get a nice run down the straightaway, and when they cross the line, Levi McCarty just a little bit faster. So Trevor trying some different things, just moving around, trying to get in some clean air, see if he can make something work. But right now he is really just following the leader. Levi gets a little bit loose there. So I wonder Trevor not thinking, man, I'm going to pounce on this. Trevor just trying to drive it deeper into the corner, using that outside line, but that outside is just a little bit treacherous at the moment. He gets a decent run off the corner. I just don't know if it's worth it through the middle. He loses a lot of time. Last time by, Chance Taylor in the 4th position, the fastest car on the track. So Chance not out of it, as they kind of got side by side for a while, but he has fallen in Craig's tire tracks, and you can see they're starting to pull up on these leaders, especially if they start to battling. Jacob Ellingson is not out of it either. He's still got that extra set of tires, and as these guys have been pushing really hard on these new sets, it's starting to equalize a little bit. Jacob Ellingson actually ran the 2nd fastest lap last time by on the older tires. So Jacob taking care of his stuff like he needs to, knows exactly what he's doing, and probably figured these guys would go out there and burn them down. And it's starting to plateau a little bit, starting to equalize, and Jacob Ellingson starting to creep back into this picture. I don't think he's got enough to get up to the front, but he can definitely get up into the top 3, that's for sure. Back here, Alex Cruz, one of those drivers that needs as much help as he can get. George Jewell, you see him, he is running right where he needs to be, inside the top 10. He was above the cutoff line by quite a few points, so he was in good shape, and he almost had just a bad race as he made contact, or somebody made contact with him, the 22, earlier in the race, and he went for a ride, but able to rebound. He's back in 9th. But Alex Cruz, who needs some help, he was 6 points below the cutoff coming into the race. And I still think he's going to need to push forward a little bit more than where he is now. I don't think this is going to be enough. The 36 is on fresh tires, so you can see what George has been able to do on those new tires. Been able to run up and catch these guys. He's going to take over that spot from Alex Cruz, it looks like. Move himself into 8th. And you can see Jamie Barkus back here in 12th. They've been able to recover, and now he's looking to get inside the top 10. He's going to have to fight for every position as well, as every point matters for him. Stick around after the race. We will go and look as Tyler Justice makes contact with somebody. But stick around after the race. We will allow iRacing to update the points, and we'll give you the unofficial top 8 once this thing is over. Let's watch on board with Jamie Marcus as he is battling side by side with Bobby Germain. Not quite able to make the move just yet, but he's going to continue working on it. Up front, McCarty still leads this thing. Trevor McManus hanging on. He had fallen back to about 4/10, but has closed it up in the last couple laps. Right now, Trevor McManus is the fastest car on the track, so he is finding something at the end of this run. You can see Jacob Ellingson starting to creep up on Chance Taylor, but these guys are all on top of each other. This is a big mad dash to the end. You got in the top 4, you got 2 playoff drivers who are right close to the bubble, one right at the bubble, one low below the bubble in Chance Taylor. And then you got 2 guys who are not in the playoffs at all, and Levi McCarty and Craig Bontrager. So you got some differing, they're all worried about different things here. But just 12 laps to go in this race. Levi with the lead. We'll see. And here we go. Trevor McManus putting the pressure on, knows what at stake, knows that I don't have to worry about points at all if I get that win. Drives down to the inside, trying to make Levi make a mistake, get him loose so he can drive by him. And just not quite able to make that work just yet. Here comes the 9 through 3 and 4, running right in his tire tracks. see Trevor really putting the pressure on now as he is driving in deeper. He's going to have a run here. We'll see if he can get the run, hold on to it. They get real close, almost making contact down the straightaway. And here we go, battle for the lead. Trevor McManus trying to keep his playoff hopes alive. Goes down to the inside. We'll see if he can make the slider work. He's going to slide up in front of the 18. We'll see if the 18 does the crossover. But it looks like Trevor McManus got enough speed through the middle of 3 and 4. Here comes Levi. Now, Trevor did not make the mistake that others have made all race long by letting Levi get back to the outside. Now Trevor going to have control as he is on the outside. We'll see if he can hold off that 18. The 18 going to slide up just a little bit as Trevor comes down. And though the 18 going to get loose trying to stay off of the 19. The 18 in the wall. Levi makes contact. And now Trevor McManus with 10 laps to go has the lead and looking to lock himself into the playoffs, into the round of 8. He took a gamble, taking those last set of tires. If a caution comes out now, he is in trouble. He is just praying that these guys keep it together. And then we go back here and look, and it is a tight battle back from 6th on back as George Jewell has been able to make his way with those fresh tires up in the 6th position. And then you got all kinds of folks all over the place. 22, Tyler Justice, he's a lap down. He's over here driving around them on the outside. He came down pit road just a few laps ago. So Tyler Justice on the move. Is up front. Now we got a battle for second as Levi starts to fade here towards the end of this run. They make a little bit of contact down the front straightaway. Here comes Chance Taylor. Craig down to the inside, trying to take second spot. Trevor McManus trying to drive off into the sunset. And Tyler Justice, you see in that red car down on the inside going below Jacob Ellingson. He is trying to get back on lead lap after he come down pit road. Now, that's one thing that we don't know just yet. We don't know if these guys have to make pit stops. They did come down. They're 31 on this stint on fuel, so looks like they can make it. I haven't seen anybody come down pit road that is part of that group. Just the guys who, like Tyler Justice, who stayed out a few more laps. So we'll see if they can make it all the way. I would imagine they would have already come down pit road if they couldn't. And I don't think Trevor would have taken his last set of tires if he couldn't. So I think they're good on fuel. But right now, Trevor just clicking down the laps. Look at Tyler Justice up there on the outside with those fresh tires. Chance Taylor trying to get up here and battle for second. And for Chance, I mean, those are two valuable points if you can get up there and make something happen. He obviously would love to win, and that is still on the table. There's still plenty of time. But if you're Chance Taylor right now, your first goal is to get around these drivers and try to be careful with Tyler Justice here as he has got those fresh tires trying to unlap himself. We're going to have 3 wide as there goes Tyler Justice to the outside, and Craig Bontrager going to be able to take over the second spot. He's going to slide up in front of Tyler. That is close. Tyler puts himself in the wall. Tyler kind of surprising these guys. They're not expecting to see somebody that fast, but he did come down pit road. And you can see right through the middle corner. Look how much faster that 22 is on those fresh tires. But right now it is Trevor McManus with a 0.6 of a second lead. You got Craig Bontrager, Levi McCarty, 2 new folks to the league that have really shown how fast and how good they are. And then you got Chance Taylor, who's in the playoffs, trying to get above that bubble. Jamie Barkas. Man, what a great recovery after that contact where he fell all the way back to about 15th or so. And now is trying to put pressure here on Jacob Denson. Oh, they're going to make a little bit of contact. They're inside of each other. Ugh. as Jamie blinked out, and my goodness, that could have been really bad, as the game didn't know where Jamie was and allowed them to kind of go inside of each other. And luckily, we avoided calamity, and now Jamie Barker's up into the 8th position. What a great drive back up through the field that the 15 had. We'll see if it's enough once this thing is over with. Here we go, Chance Taylor trying to take over the 3rd spot. He's going to slide up. Oh, we see him drive deep into the corner each time, but those tires are not gripping like they were. And you can see a couple times so far that Chance has been really pushing the middle of the corner, almost driving up into the driver on the outside. We'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. They are staying side by side as Levi's starting to fade quite a bit. And Chance Taylor up into the 3rd position. What a great drive by the 14 to stay in it. And he has a great opportunity here. He'd love to get the win, but maybe the points will work out in his favor. Up front, it is still Trevor McManus with a 0.7 of a second lead. He's got Tyler Justice with the fresh tires. You're going to have to figure out, Tyler, where you're going to go. I'd like for you to go on by if you're faster, so I don't have to worry about you anymore. Tyler trying to unlap himself. I don't know if he's got another set of tires or not, but it's the worst thing for Trevor because Trevor has to be watching out for him because you don't know where Tyler's going to go. But he'd love to be able to focus here on trying to pull away from these guys. But he's not quite able to do it. He's got to worry about this car trying to unlap himself. George Jewell has been passed by Jacob Ellingson, I think. Or no, I think George is actually on the attack here. And George trying to finish in the top 5. So, man, George also having a great run. Up front, Trevor McManus coming through 3 and 4. He's getting ready to take the white flag. I know he wants to see it so badly because the caution right now would really be terrible. Off of turn 4. White flag is out. We are going the distance. One more lap to go for Trevor McManus on the bubble. Needing to have a really good points day or get a win and with some pit strategy. He's going to come off of turn 2. He's got the lead. No caution is going to ruin it tonight. Down the back straightaway, he's got Tyler Justice behind him. That's not a pass for position. Tyler is still a lap down into 3 and 4. And he's done it. Coming off of turn 4, Trevor McManus with the strategy call. He is going to lock himself into the round of 8, and he wins here at Michigan. What a great drive, man. What a determination to get that done. Doing exactly what he needed to do, making Hail Mary calls. Made the right call there on those tires, was able to take the lead away from Levi, and he will be racing in the final 8 come next week. Well, what a great drive. And I can't tell if he's just waiting to do burnouts or if he is out of fuel. I don't know. He ran 39 laps there. Seems like that motor's running just fine. We're going to see the 9 out here doing some burnouts as he celebrates. A new life for that 9 as he was right there on the bubble, nervous, getting caught up in wrecks. And going to burn them down here on the front stretch. Well, all right. Well, let's take a commercial break. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes. We'll see where everybody finished, and we'll talk to your final or top three, and then we'll check the points as they update. But we'll be right back. All right, well, we are back. Thanks, Cruising Classics, for that commercial. It's really cool to have those. And 100 laps in the books, and Trevor McManus takes the win here at Michigan. Let's take a look at your results. 3 cautions here tonight. Craig Bontrager comes home in second. What a great run by him. And Levi McCarty rounds out your top 3. Chance Taylor comes home in 4th. Jacob Ellingson in 5th. George Jewell in 6th. Alex Cruz in 7th. Jamie Vargas in 8th. 9th, Scott Phelps. Daniel Blow rounds out your top 10. 11th, Jacob Denson. Patrick Drabick in 12th. 13th is Bobby Germain. 14th, Brandon Wallace. Jeremy Gibbs in 15th. Jonathan Barker in 16th. 17th, Tyler Justice. Eric Martinez in 18th. John Anthony in 19th. 20th, Doug Ellingson. 21st, Charlie Harcum. 22nd, Chris Sawyer. And Jimmy Cofield never started the race. All right. Well, we're going to wait till after the interviews to talk about the playoff scenario. It is close. I'm going to wait just in case anything changes in the next few minutes. We'll give you those unofficial final 8 in just a moment. But, man, I want to talk to these drivers and see what they thought about the race. But we also want to talk to our race winner, and that's Trevor McManus. Trevor, you had to do it. You were right there on the bubble coming into this race, man. And, it was looking okay, but, man, it just kind of – you didn't really know how your points were going to work out. You're running, in the backside of the top 10 for a while. And then there at the end, got the strategy call coming down to get those 4 tires. And, man, that was the right call, and you're able to get the victory. So, congratulations, man. Tell me how it feels.
I'm speechless. I mean, to be honest, dude, after being taken out at Bristol and just having kind of up and down races coming up into the playoffs, and then the first round of the playoffs, you're put behind the 8 ball, and you just, I went through a huge roller coaster of emotions when it came to this week, and this is just a sigh of relief, right? Like I made it to the next round, with a win. I feel like the tracks are good. And just gotta carry that momentum going forward.
Yeah, I mean, with it being just 2 races in each round, that just makes it tough to have one bad race, and that's exactly what happened at Bristol. And just talk about that call. I mean, you had to feel like you were pretty good on points. I mean, you're running well, and you just needed to improve points. You finish in 8th or better, you're probably good. But talk about that call to come down and get those tires and throw that Hail Mary going for that win.
That was my last set, so I was just hoping that we went green the rest of the way, right? Like 10 to go, I was starting to get real nervous. After I got the lead, I was like, oh man, I don't think anybody really has anything for me. And then we didn't get a caution, so it was it was just a Hail Mary, right? Throw the football up in the air and hope somebody caught it in the end zone type of thing. I mean, I really had no other choice. I didn't have anybody really, I felt like, on pace. I didn't feel like I was the fastest, so I had to do something different. Um, and when everybody came down pit road, I kind of thought everybody was taking tires, and then I just started seeing people take off after they got their fuel, and I was like, well, if this goes green, it's kind of in my book, right? So I seen that Levi was on tires too. He was one of the last people off pit road, so just really trying to manage my gap with him. At first, I thought I was burning up my tires behind him, and then I kind of let off and started running the high line a little bit to try to cool the tires off. I felt like, just not trying to work it around the bottom. And then I backed up to Craig and then was like, all right, I need to make another shot at it because I felt like I cooled him off enough. And when I got the lead, I kind of ran him down into no man's land, but I couldn't help it. I had to do something. I'm going for a championship, right? So I had to just hope he stuck to his lane, and he did. And I greatly appreciate that because not everybody would do that. So mad respect to him. And I told him that in the waiting room that, like, I really appreciated that.
Well, an incredible race by you. Great effort to get that win and not have to really think about it moving forward. Well, you've got the win. You're moving on to the next round. You've got 3 races to win a championship. How do you deal with the next 2 rounds? You don't want to be in the spot, in 2 races. So you got Kansas and Phoenix. Next week, I would think Kansas got to be a pretty good track for you. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited for Kansas. Let's hope we can run the wall and make time up there. If not, uh, you know, um, we'll figure it out. Mile and a halfs in these cars are really fun, no matter what track it is. Phoenix, I was good at the old Phoenix, not really too well at the new Phoenix, but I feel like I'm in the top 4 drivers any given week. So we'll go there if it comes down to it and drive our butts off and do everything we can in this premier Chevy Camaro.
Well, all right. Well, there you have it. Winner in round of 8, playoff driver Trevor McManus. Who you got to thank here tonight?
You over there at V Speed, all the stuff you do. I can't wait to go back and watch this race and see what all happened behind me. You guys do some wonderful coverage, great things. You got Right Now Roofing, who is the sponsor here. They do a fantastic job in providing us with what we need to put on these races. Cruising Classics, Next Gens. I think they do the ARCA too. You got Podium, Jam Printing and Promotions, and all those guys over there in the truck series. Premier, setup shop, dude. If you ain't riding one, you want to ride in one because they're badass setups, and I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor here. They're my sponsor at all. I've driven all kinds of setups. They're the best setup shop in the world. Coke drivers make next gen setups, or old Coke setup people. Uh, Red Beard Designs, all the designs you see from Goat Locker Racing, they're all over these things, and they do a fantastic job over there doing those. And then you got, let's see, who did I think? Nazra 360, they do all the stuff over there. In the next gen, Arca do fantastic jobs doing their broadcasting. And my sponsor, the Artisan Barn, they make some pretty cool badass hats and anything laser engraving over there. Those guys, it's veteran owned, just like everything these guys do here in the veterans. My wife, um, she is such a moral supporter of mine and kind of brought me out of the slumps after last Tuesday. Pat and Jamie, more Pat than Jamie. No offense, but he was a big supporter of mine this week and really helped me, really talked me into coming back out here this week. I appreciate him so much. Jamie and Pat both for everything they do here. Jake, all the admins for keeping us all in line. my family, my friends, of course, for supporting me. Yeah, I feel like I've been rambling on forever, but this place has so much people that makes, this league what it is, and helps us be able to do this, and to be able to put on all of the stuff. Check out the fundraiser on August 20, no, what is it? April 27th this month, dude. It's going to be awesome. Watch that race. I'll be watching too. Got my RC car stuff, so yeah, I think that's it, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Eddie.
All right. Well, there you have it. Trevor McManus moves on to the next round in the round of 8 with a win here tonight at Michigan. Let's talk to second place, and that's Craig Bontrager. Craig, this is Eddie in the booth. Man, what a great race out of you. I mean, you moved up 7 positions from where you started. You seem to have probably, it's hard to say between you and Paget Dravick. Seemed like you guys were the fastest 2 drivers all night. Had you qualified a little bit better, you might have been up front a little bit earlier, but you seemed to be able to drive up through the field, get up towards the front, and then you made really nice decision to take tires there and was up into second. Took you a little bit of time to get into second. How much more did you need to be able to get up to Trevor?
Oh man, I did definitely a little more, right? I was watching him race Levi there, and I see him sliding the tires every once in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna use his stuff up, and then I'm gonna catch him, right? I'm just gonna hold my pace, and then he gets out front and drove it like he stole it, and he was gone. There was nothing I could do. So he had some magic tires on tonight, but it was a good race.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like that 49 could go just about anywhere he wanted to go. What was it like up there? Were you liking the top side or the bottom, the middle? What was working best for the 49 machine?
Yeah, I practiced mostly on the low side, and that's just where I was comfortable. But it was definitely eating up my right front. But eventually, I kind of figured out how to, like back it up and make it work. I still think it ate up a lot of tires. I might have been better on the high side, but I definitely preferred the low. It felt like I had a lot more, or I could get to the throttle a lot sooner, and not abuse the right front on the way out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was fun to watch you. You were fast all race long. You were up there, making all the right calls, which kept you up in the top 5 the whole race. And just needed a little bit extra to get that win, but you were still fast all night long. You came away with a second place finish. So, man, congratulations on that. And who you got to thank here tonight?
Definitely want to thank GLR and everything they do to support veterans and service members, and definitely want to shout out to all those guys. But yeah, right now roofing for putting on this series. I did a new paint job for the car and got to put some right now roofing logos on there. It looks pretty sharp, and Jam Printing Promotions, Veteran for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics. These commercials are awesome. If you're looking for a classic, you know where to go. Redbeard Design Company, and of course V Speed. Eddie, you do a great job. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, there you have it. Second place finisher, Craig Bontrager, as he takes, man, had a great race, had a fast car, just came up a little bit short. But then we got third place. Talked to him in the last couple weeks. Been really, really fast. And Levi, you definitely showed a lot of speed here tonight. Seemed like you're having a lot of fun out there. What was it like?
It was a blast. That track really made for some great racing tonight. A couple different lanes, a couple different strategies floating around. Was really fast. I felt like we had enough to win there, and the end of the race was just. I wish it could have played out a little bit differently, but I wasn't able to get as aggressive in battle with him there as I really should have or wanted to, just from the standpoint I didn't want to. I know he needed a really good finish and he was kind of desperate for it, and I didn't really want to get in the way of that or ruin anything for him. But yeah, I mean, he was pinching me down pretty hard off of the corner and up into the fence a little bit and kind of making me lift. But he needed it, and I think I maybe would have done the same thing if I was in his shoes. So congrats to him, and I will be able to race him as hard as I wanted to at some point in the next season. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you do have a win so far a couple weeks ago, and it's always it's always difficult to come in later on in the seasons and kind of be, first off, thank you guys for showing up, even though you're not technically in the playoffs. I know it's tough for some leagues to hold drivers as playoffs comes in, guys. Well, I'm not in the playoffs, so why show up? So we appreciate anybody that's not in the round of 8, round of 12, showing up and racing and mixing it up. And, it's always a little bit nerve wracking to race against playoff drivers because you don't want to be the guy that wrecks one of them. But we all show up here to race. We all show up here to have a good time. And it looks like that's what you did tonight. That 18 car was bad fast yet again. Yeah, but talk about going forward here. I mean, we got Kansas and Phoenix. The intensity is going to pick up for the playoff drivers. What is your mindset coming in here? I know you're trophy hunting. We talked about that already, but as it continues the intensity ramps up for the playoff drivers, does that change the way you race? Does that make you more nervous, or do you feel like, hey, I'm here to win a race. That's what I'm gonna come here and do?
I think it's situational, and tonight it didn't favor me. The other night it did. It just from race to race it's going to change, and my goal is just to come out and have fun, and that race was a blast. Being able to move around a couple different grooves on the track and just felt really fast. You're able to gather up a run and pass somebody when you needed to, and the cars felt really really sporty and racy tonight. So yeah, moving forward, I like Kansas a lot. I like running the fence, any track that I can do that at. I feel like I'm gonna have a chance and I'll have fun. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll take it lap by lap and kind of see where we're at as we go along. And if we need to bow out and kind of give the guys room, that's what we're gonna do. But if we have a chance to win, we're gonna do that with respect as well. If we get the opportunity to do so.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place finisher, Levi McCarty. Who you got to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank the sponsor that puts on the series for us right now, Roofing. I appreciate those guys for sponsoring so that we can be out here racing, having fun on a Tuesday night. Jam Printing and Promotions, those guys are great. Thank you to them. Veterans for Life Foundation. Thank you to those guys. Cruising Classics, Red Beard Design Company, and then the V-Speed Racing Network. Thank you for all you do, sir, and I really appreciate the broadcast and the quality of it. And it's going to be awesome to go back and relive that one tomorrow. There was some great racing that was on display tonight.
All right. There you have it. Levi McCarty, third place finish here tonight. And, man, we are here down to the end of it. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and let's give you the final 8 drivers going to be racing for the playoffs. This is obviously unofficial, but it should be pretty close. Well, going back and looking at it, I think it's actually complete now. I think they've actually made the adjustments and stuff they needed for the playoffs. So we can give you the official because it looks like it has been done. Well, Jacob Denson, with those 3 wins on the season, has been really incredible all season. He will enter in on the top spot. Jacob Ellingson will be just 1 point behind. 212 for Jacob Denson, 2011 points for Jacob Ellingson. Trevor McManus, after that issue at Bristol, able to get the win tonight, and he'll be 3rd. Patrick Draven, he'll have a 7-point deficit to the top 3, but he'll be in 4th. Scott Phelps will be your 5th place driver in the playoffs. And then we get down to the last 3. They'll be racing for a chance at a championship in Kansas and Phoenix. George Jewell will be one of those final 3 drivers, as he had a fantastic race, got up towards the end, and was able to maintain that position he had. Jamie Barkas was able to also, along with Trevor McManus, beat the cut line, and he is going to be racing for a championship. And your final spot goes to Chance Taylor, who with that 4th place finish was enough points, and I think it was just a couple points that he was able to take that final 8 position. So Chance Taylor will be racing for a championship at Kansas or in Kansas next week in the round of 8. And disappointing finishes for some of these guys. Alex Cruz just had a deficit that he couldn't really recover. Was so close, but came up a little bit short. Still a great run all season. And I think the biggest one's Charlie Harkle. I mean, Charlie was running great, had everything going his way. Contact with Doug Ellingson, sends him in the wall. He goes 3 laps down, and he can never recover. And he actually missed out on the playoffs by about 2 or 3 points. So, if you're Charlie, you got to feel pretty frustrated about that. It really wasn't his fault, and he is going to miss the playoffs because of it. Chris Sawyer going to be in 11th, and John Anthony 12th. Those guys, their championship bid comes to an end. Still great run for all those guys. They've been great all season long. Well, I want to thank all of our sponsors again, and we kind of talked about the different events that are coming up in Goat Locker. The car show, Anything on Wheels, Saturday, June 22nd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Indianapolis, Indiana. You can see the address there. If you're in that area, might as well go by and check that out. That'd be really cool. You got that little QR code. Take your phone, turn on the camera, and register that way. Thanks to Lincoln Tech College of Technology for that. That'll be really cool. And then the big one that's coming up in 10 days is that Tide truck looks pretty good. The All-Star Race for Goat Locker. So they partnered with Nasty's Restaurant, and they'll be broadcasting that on Podium Esports. It will be broadcasted in the restaurant and bar. And I think there'll be some qualifying races, so definitely check those out and see if that's something that that should be a fun show. So I hope we get a lot of folks to participate. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's on April 27th. Well, I want to thank our sponsor, Right Now Roofing, for the sponsorship of this series, Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life, Cruising Classics, and Premier Setups. Well, that's it. Round of 12 in the books. We go round of 8 racing. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how it all plays out next week at Kansas. It's going to be a good show. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all have a great night. We'll see you next week.